And welcome back into the drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Joining us here at ACC Kickoff in Charlotte now, Jared Verse, Florida State defensive end. Jared, thank you very much for taking the time. But I want to go a little bit back in time for you a little bit. 6'4", 250, show up in Florida State, lead them in sacks, top of draft boards. How did you end up at Albany coming out of high school? What did everybody else miss?
The weight. I was 200 pounds coming out of high school. I was real small, real little, anything like that. But I always knew I was going to make it to something at this level. So I never had any doubt. My family never had any doubt. It was just had to get there, put in the work to get here.
So do you feel almost like you've achieved some kind of superpower now? Like 200 is like large for a human, but not in college football. 253, 6'4". Do you like? What's the difference?
I ain't gonna lie. I saw the other day a picture of myself back like when I was like 200 pounds, and I was like, that looks like a completely different human. I'm like I literally feel like a whole different person. I'm like, all right, yeah, like you said, kind of like a superpower. I'm like, this is kind of cool though.
and now obviously on one of the biggest stages, we're here at ACC Kickoff. You're getting ready to enter into a season with a lot of expectations for both yourself and for your team. We'll go team first. Every year under Coach Norvell in Tallahassee, the winning's gotten a little bit more and the expectations have rose a little bit more. What's the next step to build off a 10-win season a season ago?
Honestly, just being our best. If we come out and do what we're able to do, we give our best, we give our strengths, we work on our weaknesses, we'll be fine.
We're talking with Jared Verse, Florida State defensive end. And then individually, right, last year, at least at the beginning of the year, on the scouting report, you're the transfer from Albany. Now on the scouting report, if you're getting ready to play against Florida State's defense, you're Jared Verse, the NFL prospect, and all these sorts of things. Are you prepared for the double teams and all the attention coming your way?
I want the attention to come my way. Give me the double teams, give me the chips, bring everybody you can at me. Because when you do that, the rest of my D-line is getting one-on-ones, and you do not want that to happen. And people are going to learn that very quickly. Do not give the rest of the D-line one-on-ones. Because once they learn that, then I'm going to get my one-on-ones. Like, you can't do that either. So we're going to see a lot of Max Pro this year.
All right, so name some other guys that are going to have some big seasons that maybe we're not expecting.
Braden Fisk, he just came. He just transferred in from Western Michigan. He is going to have a great season. Pat Payton, Defensive Rookie of the Year, is going to have a great season. Fabian Levitt, coming back off injury, is going to have a great season. Josh Farmer, great season. We got Gilbert Edmond, who just came from South Carolina, great season. I could name our whole 2-3 deep, and everyone's going to be great. Like, we are deep here.
The interesting part is a season ago, and you have, the same game this year, right? You're starting Florida State this time in Orlando. Last year was in New Orleans, but that was kind of our introduction to you, right? Got to the quarterback a couple times, and it was a welcome moment. What do you have in store for LSU this year?
I'm just going to bring everything I have. Like last year, that was me kind of getting acclimated to it. Now I'm used to it. I'm a lot stronger than I was last year. I'm faster than I was last year. I got a lot more moves in my arsenal. I'm a whole different player. If you ask me, I'm a lot better of a player.
Okay, so you have a lot more moves. We're talking with Jared Verse, Florida State defensive end, one of the top edge rushers on most draft boards coming up after or going into this next draft. Let's say LSU game, tied, late, hot in Florida, right down there in Orlando, and they have the ball, 3rd and 17. What's the go-to rush move?
Go-to rush move, depending on who I'm on, what kind of moves been working on them. My go-to is bull rush. I like to run down your chest. But if they've been feeding off that the whole game, I'm going to run down the middle, flash my hands. The second they lean forward, block arm over. If they've been going for the speed the whole day, I'm going to do a little up and under, call a little game with my inside guy. We got so many moves we can just do out of everybody. I ain't too worried.
Jared Verse, Florida State defensive end. This is the question, everybody. There's a few schools where it gets asked about a ton. A few of them are going to be here at ACC Kickoff. 3 years unranked for Florida State. Last year, you finished the season 13th. Is Florida State back?
I'll say this, because last year after the LSU game, I said Florida State is back. And I'm going to say this, we are on the right path to being back. When we're back is when we're number one. We have our championships and everything handled. That's why I'll say Florida State is back. But right now, we are on the right path to getting there.
So if you're on the path to getting back, and I like the way you worded that because it's a little safe, but also you're saying what you want to say. Well, why Florida State? When you're at Albany, right? You're CAA, all of this. You're the rookie of the year. That and 14 sacks in the CAA is no joke. Florida State wasn't back at that point in time, and yet you bought in. What was it about the program? What was it about Coach Norvell?
One thing was I came here and everybody seemed bought in. Like I didn't get to meet too many of the guys on my official visit, But the guys I did meet, I met Jermaine Johnson. He ended up going being a first round pick. I got to meet him, and I'm like, hey, like, why'd you come here? He's like, man, I just loved it. But like, he told me what he liked, what he didn't like. I met with Coach Norvell, and he didn't promise me anything. He didn't promise me a position, starting spot, none of that. I knew I was going to work my way and try to get it, but he never promised me anything. I'm like, okay, I can work for somebody like this. And then the way he spoke to me, the way he spoke to my mom. One thing I love about Coach Norvell is he's weird with the eye contact. Like, he never looks away. And I love that so much because that really shows you giving your full attention to somebody. And I'm like, all right, I can work like this. I can work under someone like this.
For everybody on radio, while he was answering that question, we just had a little staring contest.
Hey.
When you got to lock in when you're talking like that. Last one here. I mean, it's ACC kickoff. It's actually getting louder as we're speaking here. Everybody's getting fired up. A lot of that has to do with quarterbacks. How good is Jordan Travis really, right? When you're up against him in practice, when you're up against him in spring and everything, how good is he really?
He's one of the few quarterbacks I've ever played where I have to go to technique. Usually I just rely on like my physical abilities. With him, I have to
I like
break
the honesty
down.
there.
I'm not gonna lie, he got me the one day. He like stopped, I stopped, he jumped inside. I'm like, oh yeah, I got him. I jumped inside, he spun out, and then the whole offense ran on the field. The defense was like, oh my God, it was embarrassing.
That's what happens when you get a little hype, and then you get got. That's what goes on. Jared, we appreciate you for stopping by. Good luck this season, and good luck in your career.
And thank you for having me here. Thank you for everything today.
Cool.
Appreciate it. That was great.